Happy Valentine's Day. I hope you all are having a great Valentine's Day so far. Enjoying loving on yourself and treating yourself well. I'm bringing you this tutorial to share the love on this special day. I start out with a plastic tablecloth in pink. I'm going to use pink and red, but you unfold the tablecloth. It's folded in 4, so folded twice in the package. So I just roll it out and I'm gonna cut strips. I'm cutting strips of about 1 inch. Some people do this and make it 1.5 inches. Another option, instead of using scissors, is you can put it on a board that has lines and you just lay it on with a ruler and just cut through with a slicer or a blade or anything of that sort, and that's also easy. But to be honest with you, your fringe does not have to be perfectly lined. As long as you know how to align your scissors well enough to get strips, that's all that matters. So I'm working my way through this tablecloth, and I'll let you know how long of a fringe this one tablecloth gives me. That way you have a bit of a reference when you make yours, and you have to, depending on how much you need. I'm making a smaller fringe just to give you the tutorial, but you can make this as long as you want. You can alternate colors. You can pretty much change the length as well, and I'll show you that as well, since this is going to be the longest length you get with this tablecloth. That's my plan here. So we're cutting each strip about 1 inch. So if you're cutting yours 1 inch, then I'll let you know at the end how long of a garland or how long of the fringe you're going to have towards the end. So in addition to these supplies, you'll also need a piece of yarn or some kind of string that is firm enough to hold your design where it's not going to droop. It can be anything elastic. So we're finishing up here with the pink, and then I'm going to work on the red. I also have a love balloon that I'll add towards the end of my full design. So stay tuned to see all that, and we're gonna put a balloon garland together to celebrate Valentine's Day and celebrate all of you for watching all my videos. Now, if this is your first time tuning in, thank you for tuning in. Here is the red tablecloth. Again, it's the plastic disposable tablecloth. There you go. And this is the length of it right there folded. Sorry you can't see me, but you can cut that in half, and that's half of it, and it gives you half of the design. So if you want something shorter with the colors, you just cut in half. If you want something that is more rustic, you don't have to align the ends to make it. You would have to just put random lengths where some are longer, some ends are longer than the other, and that gives you more of that volume fringy look. And I actually like when they're even. So I'm tying my yarn to a chair and a ladder, and that's the full length of the design. So the full length of the tablecloth, sorry. So what you want to do is hold the end, find the middle. I have some help here. My daughter is gonna help me get it together. They always ask if they can help with these videos. I figured this was a good one to help, and I'm showing her. You find the end, attach it to the middle, and loop your ends through that and pull. Make sure you don't pull too hard so you're not stretching the tablecloth. So you're pretty much just looping that through onto the yarn and just pushing it aside. And we're going to work on this. It was a lot harder for me to loop it, to unwrap it right there, than it was for me to loop it. And for her, it was harder for her to loop it and easier for her to open up the folded tablecloth. So eventually we decide that since she would prefer to unravel it like that, then I would just loop them as she does it, and it worked a lot faster. Like I said, this is an easy tutorial. Anybody can do it, and if you have help, it goes by even faster. So again, you can make it half the length of this. You just have to cut each piece in half, and you'll be able to do it that way. So we're working as a team to get this all done right, and you see how it turns out at the end. I'm also here talking to her. My kids are so funny. When they have something on their minds, that's all they talk about. And currently she's into having a pet, and especially now because I do not want a dog. So we eventually agreed on a guinea pig, and she has been doing a lot of research on how to care for the guinea pig, what the guinea pig needs, how often they eat. And she came up with a PowerPoint presentation to show us all the things that she could do for the guinea pig and how she'll be able to care for it on her own. Because one rule to get the guinea pig was that we are not the ones responsible for it. She has to be responsible and take care of it on her own. So as you can see, she's unfolding each piece, handing it to me, and it's going by a lot faster. Of course, the video is sped up, but you can tell that we're working a lot faster now that we've figured out our rhythm, and it's going really well. Now, tell me what plans you guys have today for Valentine's Day, or what you did if you're watching this later on in the day. I decided this year that I'm going to go on a date. My husband and I are going to go on a date. Usually we don't really go on a date for Valentine's Day. We haven't done that since we dated. I feel like it's just so packed. All the restaurants and everywhere is packed. So we prefer to have our dates on nights that are not a Valentine night. But let me know what plans you guys have or what you're doing. Are you doing something special for yourself? Let me know. So the tutorial, as you can see, the material of the plastic is very thin, so you want to make sure that when you pull through and tug on it, make sure you're not pulling too hard. It doesn't cut easily, but it could stretch and just not look good. So another thing is, when you pull them together, once you've tied them up, don't push it too tight, because you already have a fringe going down there. So if you make it too tight, then it'll just be too fluffy on the bottom. You can see the gaps towards the top where the yarn is. There are gaps there, and that's okay, because that part doesn't really show when you make your decoration or when you put your balloon garland or any other decoration you want to use. But again, I thought it was better not to make them too tight on the yarn, like close together, each fringe. I don't know if I'm making sense, but you don't want to push it where it's too squished together. So, and you see how it comes up and turns out once we get that all placed. I'm actually going to design everything on the wall behind me. I'm tying my second yarn for the pink. I asked her to bring a measuring tape so we can see how long, and to be able to tell you guys how long it is, and it ends up being 42 inches. So one tablecloth gives you 42 inches worth of fringe. So if you want something shorter, just cut this in half and you have double the size. You'll have 84 inches. So it depends on you what style you're going for, and some people don't even like the fringe to be the exact length overall, so they create different heights. And also another thing you can do is, once you're done, attaching all your pieces to the yarn, you can cut it where it's uneven, and that gives you a different look as well. So this has so much you can do for it. If you want me to create a more elaborate design, you can let me know in the comments below, and I can work on that with different colors as well. So again, I try to create videos that I know you guys would want to see, tutorials that you would want to see, so I can do more of this if it's something you would like to see. So again, we're pushing through here, getting the pink done, and I lifted it over so you can see exactly how it's turning out. And of course, it's going to be the exact same length as the red, because we're using 1 tablecloth for the pink and 1 tablecloth for the red. Now, if I had known how my balloons were going to be, I probably would have made them a little bit longer, maybe done 2 tablecloths for each color. But again, I just wanted to show you the tutorial on how I'm creating this and how you can make one on your own. So I have these screws on the wall. I'm just wrapping it around that. I don't want my fringe to be straight, so I'm adjusting it where I have a swoop right there so it doesn't hang straight. I just wanted the design to look a bit different. So that's one hung up. I have the screws on both sides. I actually have those screws for a frame that I keep on that wall when I'm not recording videos or decorating anything. So I'm thinking of how I want the red to lay with that pink. Another thing you have to keep in mind is that the color that is higher up has to go over. As you can see, I'm moving the pink to go on top of the red, because like I said, you don't want to see where you've attached all of your red or all the red on the yarn. So you want to make sure that the color that is higher goes over the color that is below, and that's how the fringe layers up. One thing I forgot to tell you is this is the same method you use to make a tutu. I made one for my daughter. You just saw when she turned 1. It's funny, she just turned 10. I can't believe I have a 10-year-old, but it's exciting. We're celebrating her, and stay tuned. If you haven't subscribed yet, do subscribe. She wants a disco party, so I'll record how I set up the hall for her party and all the balloons that we'll do for that. So make sure you subscribe and click the notification bell so you do not miss that video that will be coming up pretty soon. I'm working on hanging my balloons. I have red, white, and pink. Now what I decide to do is put the red far to the left, because I have that red fringe towards the bottom to create somewhat of a contrast, and the white breaks up the colors a little bit, and then we have the pink that will hang closer to the red. So I made the fringe where they're not exactly beneath, the red is not directly under the pink, but it goes more to the right. So that's the design here, and I'm just working with the balloons as usual, twisting it around, making sure that I'm covering up that yarn section of the fringe so that everything is nice and decorated. Now you could clearly leave the balloons as is, but I decide obviously to add more, because more is more with me all the time. But I'm adjusting all the balloons here, stepping back to see if I like the design, if I need to change anything, making adjustments. I decide that I don't have enough red, so I'm going to add some more red to the left, and you'll see me make adjustments constantly as I go. I'll even adjust and even add more red than I have already. So we're on to adding the 5-inch clusters just to create that full organic look and make the balloon garland a lot more full. So that's what I'm working on now. And we're getting really close to the video. Thank you guys so much for all your support. Thank you for watching the videos and sharing and liking, and especially for your comments in the video of what you think and what you would like to see. If you've been watching my videos for some time and you haven't subscribed, please support my channel by clicking that subscribe button. I really appreciate it. It goes a long way. So we're wrapping up everything here and just making those final adjustments. I hope you like it. I hope you learned how to make it. If you do, please tag me on Instagram. I would love to see what you come up with. And that is pretty much it, I believe, is what I did. So oh no, we're not done. Well, look at that. I decided to add more red. So I'm gonna put this red here, but then I noticed later on that it's not quite symmetrical. I didn't like how that top red looked at the very top, so I'll still make adjustments as I go. The thing with balloon garlands is putting it together, assembling. It's not even inflating. Some people don't like inflating, the whole inflation process, but my thing, I take more time designing the balloons, so I'm adjusting things there. And beautiful. I like how it turned out. I hope you do as well. I hope you feel the love from the video. And this is my final touch to the balloon. I'm going to inflate this love wording to just add to the garland, to just finish everything up. You have to use a hand pump for these 4 balloons so you don't pop them. You have to keep inflating till you get that air through all the letters, and I feel each letter to make sure it's nice and firm and it's full of air. I'm just trying to figure out here where exactly I want the letters to be. And then we're going to use some glue dots right there. Put it, the way I do mine is I just put it on several areas of the foil balloon, so that when I place it on there, it catches somewhere and I can go back and add some more glue dots where I need it. So that's what I'm doing right now. And again, thank you for watching. Have a wonderful and blessed week. Happy Valentine's Day.